Excellent. So, welcome to our session on the future of banking. I hope everyone's been enjoying the session so far. It's been an excellent afternoon and morning for some. My name's Dan Bennett. I'm the managing partner for our crowd here in Australia, working up into Asia. And we've got a great 20-minute power session here, focusing on the impact of COVID and how it's going to be amplifying the future of banking. And we're joined by two leading global bankers. So really excited to hear some of their insights. I'm going to introduce them shortly. My view is that we're already seeing a transformation which is totally going to be led by the customer. The current pandemic has forced customers once quite resistant to online banking to adopt digital banking apps as now their new default position. And as these customers realize how much more convenient this process is, I think we're going to see them move away from the physical experience. So accordingly, banks are going to start considering more deeply how to adapt to changing client behaviors and requests, how employees are going to be collaborating with one another more effectively using digital tools, and also the fact that they're remotely located. So what implications does that have? How to deliver a sense of community and kindness within this current environment, and importantly, how are the banks still going to be delivering shareholder and stakeholder value and returns? So some of the tools that we're already seeing and are very prevalent, our crowd as well has been very effective in bringing some of these to the community, is communication software, cyber protection, open APIs, leveraging the cloud more effectively, deeper data-driven thinking. So we're fortunate to have our powerhouses here today. So the session's going to run. We're going to have Catherine Carver and Roy Chaudhry share some insights with us, and then we're going to have an open Q&A, which I'm really looking forward to. So we might kick off with Kath. So Kath is responsible for relationship and coverage for NAB's corporate and institutional bank. Kath has a diverse experience in various roles in corporate and capital markets, including a number of years spent offshore in Hong Kong. Kath is also a member of the Chief Executive Women's Group, an organization representing over 300 of Australia's most senior women leaders. I've been lucky enough to develop a personal relationship with Kath, having spent time together in Israel. I think she leads her group in the bank wonderfully and is pushing for innovation and a focus on venture capital, which will differentiate sort of the offering to their clients, which is really exciting. So Kath, would love to hear some insights on how COVID has impacted you and the bank, and what measures the bank are taking to address this.
Well, thanks very much for those kind words, Dan. And it's great to be here. Certainly COVID-19 has changed many things about the way we work and the way we live, particularly the acceleration of digital interaction and, quite frankly, a move to a cashless society. Certainly in the banking and financial services, we've already had a strong digital trajectory, probably for over a decade now, and NAB has certainly been investing quite strongly in that digital capability for some time. The digitisation, I think, of work and client services may in the long term outrun manual and face-to-face interactions, as Dan said. This is already evident in digital payments versus cash and the dramatic fall in the use of cheques, etc. At NAB, COVID-19 crisis saw about 28,000 employees moving to remote working within a week. 28,000 moving to remote working within a week. It's staggering, including many functions previously that we considered as only suited to in-office, such as call centres, service centres functions and relationship banking. Incredibly fast mobilisation of resources and the provision of technology was there to make this happen. We've also seen changes in the way we use our resources. So for instance, contact centres had as many calls in 1 week as they did in a year. And the use of digital platforms, as you'd expect, has massively increased. I think clients are having similar experiences, requiring us to connect with them in a really different way, whether it's like this, insights and information delivered by webinars, whether it's help to use online platforms more effectively due to changes in their behaviours, driving an increased use of functionality. Outside of COVID-19, however, our customers are now by and large digital first and expect seamless, integrated and personal experiences. And we're certainly making massive improvements in our digital platforms. We've probably seen in that changing expectations, 2 years ago, we embarked on a nearly just under $5 billion technology and digital-led transformation journey, reshaping technology to free us up from the limitations, quite frankly, of yesterday's technology. And really, to stay competitive, we have to continue to simplify our business and industrialize that digital technology. And we've had to build up our speed, agility, relevance, and resilience. We're certainly delivering a lot of different digital transformation and efficiency and really reducing the unit costs for our clients, whether it be through, as Dan mentioned, our cloud infrastructure strategy. And we've just shifted our transactional banking NAB Connect platform onto the cloud just last weekend, actually. And that's certainly going to build up resilience and the user experience and speed to market. So we'll be able to bring products to market in sort of 3 weeks. We've also invested in a huge amount of suite of payment APIs to help ensure more flexibility and just quite frankly, speed. And certainly what we've also done is really build up a robust and secure platform to make sure those baddies don't get in. And lastly, just a couple of things around, just seeing a really big shift to our liquidity management platform, which certainly gives visibility to our clients and seeing all of their working capital. So just a couple of things. They're very similar themes, Dan.
Super. Thanks so much, Kath. We might move over to Roy Chaudhry, who's, well, the last time Roy and I spent time together was actually at Shabbat at John Medved's house about a year ago. So it's good to see you're doing well. Nice to see you on our new modern world in Zoom. So Roy is the Senior Vice President and Group Head of UOB BizSmart. It's a platform focused on establishing and maintaining close and innovative relationships with the bank's SME clients, which at this moment in time, I imagine is more fundamental for not just those clients, but also the economy at large than ever. So I'm really looking forward to Roy sharing how this program has been supercharged by technology and the relevance for it going forward. Roy also spent many years at Standard Chartered Bank and has been a good friend of ours at our crowd for some time. So Roy, would love to hear how BizSmart is working during this period and what your vision is, for the next 6-12 months to get us through COVID.
Thanks, Dan. Firstly, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to share the stage, or the proverbial stage, with Kat and you. And yes, so these are unprecedented times, and BizSmart's goal is to ensure that we democratize business management solutions for SMEs. And much the same as where our crowd started off to democratize the venture capital space. And that gave me that essentially drives my passion. Bring access to SMEs and individuals who previously don't have access to technology the way they should. COVID, while it's unprecedented, unexpected, well, what it does, it makes you think faster. And from an SME perspective, we've seen a rapid acceleration in the adoption of BizSmart as well as other technologies that help them drive business growth in these times. What it does help is it kind of neutralizes borders, so you no longer can just have to depend on customers who are accessible physically, but it gives you access to markets that you wouldn't have otherwise. Importantly, it also helps you drive down cost to serve from an SME's perspective, keeping them more productive, more efficient. Simple access tools like how you can send out an invoice and make sure you collect it via non-cash channels, considering holding cash or managing cash has its own expenses or risks associated with it. And that has also seen a significant uptick, right? And what it does at the back of it is when you're able to collect through e-channels, it reduces your time to collect. So you're collecting faster, so it keeps you more liquid. It helps you manage that collection better. And at the end of the day, our goal is to be able to provide insights and analytics to SMEs that they wouldn't have otherwise. While there's a lot of data around, it's actually how you use the data to drive insights to improve your business. That's what counts, right? The data is of no use if it's not analyzed and collected and then retrieved properly. So that is something that we take very seriously, and we like to offer that to the smallest of customers as they battle through this time. I think the ancillary benefits of them becoming more stable businesses, even post-COVID, as it changes the entire interaction space, is critical. So it's not just about doing well through this period, but also the learnings that come off this environment. How do you take those learnings and accelerate further post-COVID? I think that is going to be critical. And that's something that we'd like to support our SMEs through the funnel and through the journey as they grow, and we grow with them. So we're as good as our customers are, and we'd like to continue to support them through this period. And exciting times. I think it was interesting to see and hear from Kat in terms of how cashless the economies are working for us in this part of the region, including Singapore. That's a key focus. To make sure that our customers remain comprehensively robust in these times.
Awesome. Thanks, Roy. Brilliant. So we've already got a couple of questions coming through, which is exciting. Anyone that wants to get a view from our speakers, please just pop it into the chat function. First question for you, Kath, which is actually quite relevant because you and I have had many conversations about cybersecurity in the bank. The question relates to how is NAB thinking about cyber at this time in light of recent public events that we've seen splashed across the front page of the papers?
Okay, I thought you only had control over the mute button. So thanks for the question on cyber, and it's a topic that I spend quite a lot of time thinking about and talking to a number of our colleagues, and it's certainly top of mind, especially given your reference to recent attacks just last week. And I think just to give some data preceding that attack of last week, I think between March and April alone, we have seen, something like 280% increase in cyber attacks on the same time as last year, and something like nearly close to 100% in terms of business email compromises. So, and something like 220 odd % increase in fraud alerts. So if anyone thinks it's not happening out there because they don't agree with what the newspaper or the news reports, it's fake news, it is really happening. And certainly all of our data would strongly suggest that. I mean, we're spending a lot of money, a lot of time and effort, both in terms of centres of excellence within our organisation. We're working with a company that I know you've invested in, BioCatch, which is around biometrics detection, because we think fraud's going to be massive in this slightly more vulnerable times of people working from home, etc. Whilst that'll change. So I think we've had a number of sessions for our clients at that corporate institutional end, and I've got to say I was staggered how many people didn't know much about what's going on in terms of just their own education of their staff, education of their clients. And so I think there's some real basic things that all of our clients and partners can do. So for me, really important topic, and to stay vigilant is my parting words.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And BioCatch is one of the many tools that we're involved with that can help provide that support. And Roy, a question for you around BizSmart. Someone's asking for a little more detail on the way that it can be utilized, what's some of the innovation around it, and what other functionality does it provide?
Okay, so Bismart is essentially a suite of business solutions. So it spans from invoicing to accounting to HR management, payroll management, e-commerce enablement, all the way. So all the way through core business processes that SMEs would need to stay productive and grow. So that's what we focus in. It also connects with the bank in relevant parts. So in terms of the collection and payment processes, that's something that we see as intuitive, where the bank comes into play with your business processes. The goal is essentially, if you are keying in data on one side of your business process, how do we reduce the replication that is required if the solutions were fragmented? Right? So how do you initiate a payment or you initiate a collection on your business tool, and how does the bank then, when it collects the payment, how does it notify you? How does it reconcile instantaneously on an invoice ID level so that you know you've been paid and by who, right? So that is in a nutshell what the solution endeavors to do. We work closely with best-in-class solution providers to make sure that we don't reinvent and rebuild tools that can be used. And that keeps us nimble and helps us get to market quickly.
Awesome. I'm realizing how quick 20-minute sessions go when the discussion is so productive. So we've got about 3 minutes. So it's going to have to be, maybe we'll do some quicker questioning, some punchy questions. One for you, Kath, is around what sort of digital technology is the bank looking at, or have they implemented so far during COVID?
So we've just brought to market for one of our clients, and this will be able to be rolled out to many more, around liquidity management. So basically a real-time online digital offering where the client and the banker will be able to see all the working capital that's going on for some of our corporate and institutional clients. One of the great things is that it is on our platform, so it is on the cloud. So again, speed to market in terms of how we bring new updates and all the rest of it. And particularly in a time of crisis where you want to know down to the last dollar how your money, what your balances are looking like across your business and all its subs, etc. So that's something that we're in the process of rolling out now. So really excited about that.
Super, thanks, Kath. And one for you, Roy, a question around KYC and AML. To what extent has technology been utilized to give effect to cross-border transactions or local transaction, and has COVID had any impact on any of that?
So KYC is obviously, as you would be aware, is key for banks, right? To really know our customers, to know what the transaction is about, and we remain as vigilant as we were even before COVID. We know when it's the right time to step up on that vigilance to make sure that the financial sector remains robust and transactions are valid. And that remains a key priority for the bank. And through COVID, that doesn't change, right? So for banking, it's very clear, irrespective of the environment, we step it up where necessary. But at any point of time, vigilance and understanding our customers and their needs and behaviors is always key.
Awesome. So we just clicked over to 22. So sadly, we've got lots more questions. We might have to think about how we can address those. I might funnel those through to the speaker so everyone gets heard. But thank you, Roy. Thank you, Kath. Brilliant session. Everybody, thank you for joining. We had some excellent attendance. Please enjoy the rest of the plenaries and the rest of the breakout sessions. And thank you for supporting our crowd today. All the best. Thanks, Kath. Thanks, Roy.